Hello, good morning. Welcome to day 2 of our 5-day spiritual reset. Okay, we got the mic on. Welcome to day 2 of the 5-day spiritual reset. I am so excited to have you here, and we're just gonna get right into it. So today, this is all about how can you find the sacredness in your everyday task, or how I like to say, how do you find magic in the mundane? So this is my favorite phrase because how you find magic in the mundane is how you're going to find magic in the extraordinary. If you can't find it in the mundane, it doesn't really matter what you do. So how do you find sacredness in your daily task, in the everyday, in the things that you do every single day? This is where we find sacredness because you're already doing them. So I kind of touched on it yesterday, but today I want to go a little bit deeper. We are going to start with a little morning intention setting, similar to what we did yesterday. So we're not reinventing the wheel every single day. We're just building on to these resources so that when you end the 5 days, you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do when I get up in the morning, instead of thinking, okay, she taught me 400 million things and now I've got to figure out what works for me. My suggestion is try whatever I'm telling you, just try it maybe for a good 30 days and then start to adjust from there. It's really difficult to see changes, especially when you're doing things 5-10 minutes at a time, if you're not willing to commit to a long period to do it. So 30 to 60 days, try these things. So this is a 5-day spiritual reset, but my goal is for you to be able to do this for the next 30 to 60 days, and it's not going to be a burden on possibly your already busy schedule, right? So let's just take a few deep breaths together. We're gonna just breathe in and out. And again, the same thing. If you move your body just a little bit with your breath, just tells your body, hey, we're about to come into stillness, but let's just get any of that anxiousness out, or possibly you're rushing around, getting kids to school in the morning and lunches and breakfast. I get it. So just move the body from side to side. Just stretch just a little bit in your chair or on your bed, wherever you decide to do this. And just start to feel maybe your shoulders draw down and relax. If you're a jaw clencher, maybe you just start to feel that just relax just a little bit. We'll just sit here for about a minute or so, breathing in and out. Continuing to slowly just move the body. You can roll your shoulders, roll your wrist out. And when you're ready, you can kind of come to the center into a stillness. And again, ask yourself, what is your intention for the day? Or what magic would you like to see take place today? And then just take a moment Maybe you can visualize this magic, whatever feels good for you in this moment. We're just taking some time to breathe, kind of come into the body, set the intention for the day. And remember that you can do this right when you wake up. That's usually when I do it, before I get out of bed, or you can do it after, if you have if you have a lot to do in the morning and then you kind of have a downtime, maybe around this time, 9 or 10 o'clock. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever feels good. So I want to talk a little bit about finding the sacredness in your daily task, because you're already doing this stuff daily. You're vacuuming, you're wiping down counters, doing dishes, laundry. This is something we all do. And perhaps maybe you have someone come deep clean your house, right? Maybe you're not doing the deep cleaning, but you're probably wiping down counters, you're folding some laundry, you're doing some things throughout the day. Maybe you're making your bed. There's some tasks that you do every single day. Maybe it's brushing your teeth. We all do that. What are those tasks that you do every day and perhaps you don't even think about, you just kind of do them? What I would suggest today's practice really be like the main practice is writing all those tasks down. So something I do every day is I do the dishes, right? I'm gonna focus on the dishes because I think everybody does dishes, right? Whether you wash them by hand or you put them in the dishwasher, it's all the same. And I would say whatever task takes you about 5-10 minutes. So anything that takes you longer than that, we're not talking about those tasks. So if there's just kind of those tasks that take you about 5-10 minutes every single day, I want you to write a list of them, okay? Now, once you have that list, you don't want to make it get about the tasks that are 5 to 10 minutes and about 10 tasks, okay? Anything more than that is going to feel really overwhelming, and now we're kind of creating a burden on ourselves. So we want to take about max 10 tasks. If you only got 3 of them, that's fine, but max 10, 5 to 10 minutes. So whatever those tasks are in your life, everybody's a little bit different. Like watering my garden, that's a task that takes about 10 minutes. Today it's raining a lot, so I don't have to do that. But so it's those tasks that you do every single day or pretty much every day. Write a list of those. You don't have to do that now, but afterwards or at some time in this week. And so let's just kind of go over, I've got like some notes here, so I'm kind of staying on track. Let's talk about preparing meals, washing dishes, and laundry. So those are the 3 tasks I'm going to focus on. I think everybody pretty much does those tasks, so I think I'm kind of safe in referring to them. But preparing meals. Here's the thing with preparing meals. This is the food that's going into your body. This is the food that's giving you energy, sustenance, nutrients. This is literally how you are surviving, is the food that you're eating. It's also how you're feeding your family, right? You're a busy mom, you're feeding your family. If you prepare just one meal a week, then we focus on that, okay? I know not everybody prepares every single meal every single day, but you're probably preparing at least, oh, there's a little cardinal outside. Oh, so cute. You're probably preparing at least one meal a week or a day. So when you're preparing that meal, when you're like getting the produce or getting the meat or whatever it is out of the fridge, putting it onto the counter, where is your head at? Where's your mind at? Where's your energy at? Is it out in some space where you're focusing on all the other tasks instead of the one you're at? Are you thinking about the lack of time you have or the lack of energy you have? Are you thinking like, oh, I don't want to do this? Just think about, there's no judgment here. I'm just asking you to think about your energy as you're preparing the meal. And then think about, what do I want going into my body? What kind of energy do I want going into my body? I don't want rush. I don't want irritation. I don't want frustration really at any point. I know that it's necessary sometimes, but I definitely don't want that when I'm preparing my food. And so before you start the task of preparing food, we're just focusing on this. I want you to think about how incredible it is to have this access to your food. And I don't mean in other people don't have access. I just mean that you are right now gathering this food, preparing your food, and allowing yourself to create nutritious meals for your family, okay? So as you're doing that, I want you to really think about the energy that you are putting in. So before you grab any food, before you start the process, I want you to take 1 minute, okay? Do that breathing, come into your body. And by the way, I'm not thinking that you're surrounded by silence. I'm thinking you've got maybe a TV going on in the background or music. Maybe there's kids playing. Maybe there is, other people in your home doing other things. I don't know what's happening, okay? That has nothing to do with your internal dialogue or what's happening in your energy internally. And so what I would suggest for you to do is to just take a few minutes and find that internal peace before you start preparing those meals. I want you just to note the difference in how you're preparing. Some other tasks. How do we make that sacred? Well, what is sacred to you? Maybe it's putting on really cool music while you're preparing. Maybe it's lighting a candle. How do you make the task of preparing food for your family sacred? That's a question for you. I don't know, right? What is sacred to you? And this is what is I really am a strong advocate for. I don't know what is sacred for you. I don't know what feels good for you. You know what feels good. And if you don't know what feels good, it's time for you to go on an adventure to find joy. Think of it like that. I am going on an adventure to find joy today in the mundane task. So let's talk about laundry, because this is kind of like everybody does laundry. I always tell people, when you are folding your laundry, take it as a time to talk with your ancestors or your loved ones who have passed. Why? Because you're already doing something. Maybe you pour yourself a cup of coffee, pour yourself a tea, pour an extra one for an ancestor, and have a little conversation with your grandma who passed away. Or have a little conversation with maybe a great-great-grandparent that you didn't know but you would like to connect with. Maybe you read about them in your family tree or something. You thought they were really cool. You'd like to connect with them. Connect. You don't have to be a medium. You don't have to have any sort of special powers or abilities. Just pour them an extra cup of coffee or tea and fold your laundry and just talk with them. You can do it in your head if you feel a little uncomfortable, but if you talk out loud to them, they will hear you. They will hear your call. And sometimes it's just talking to them. Other times you can be talking and listening for a response. I always encourage people to find how you can connect deeper with your spiritual practice in the things that you're already doing. So we talked about dishes, we talked about preparing your food and laundry. Let's talk about dishes. And you can do this with any task. I'm just showing you kind of how it is to do it, because I don't know what you do every day. So when you're washing the dishes, one of the things that I like to do is I like to kind of explore my body and see, is there any pain in an area of my body? If I'm washing my dishes and I start to feel, let's say my left shoulder starts to feel a little bit tight, like I can feel it tightening up, or I can feel that my butt cheeks are clenched. That's like the biggest thing when we know we're stressed. We clench our butt cheeks. And the thing is when you're washing those dishes, can you just relax a little bit? Can you find the relaxation in your body? Can you find the peace in the body? Can you find the ability to just let go a little bit as you're washing the dishes? And a little hint, did you know that in our feet and our hands, it contains all of the energy centers that we have inside of our body? Yeah, really cool. So when you're washing dishes, what are you also doing? You're washing your hands. You're literally letting water flow out onto your hands. So guess what you're doing? You're washing away anything that no longer serves you. And you get to do that every single day. I'm sure you've heard of energy cleansing or protecting your energy or creating an energy protection bubble, cleansing your energy. If you've never heard those terms, it's just the idea of that we kind of hold all of this stuff from other people or from ourselves, and we want to be able to release it. A lot of people do that in the shower. But you can also do that while you're washing dishes. So as you're washing dishes, you're just thinking about, you know what, today I'm just going to let go of being self-conscious. I want to really release that from my body. Or I really have a lot of confidence and I want to release the idea that I'm not an expert in my field. That I find that a lot with, women business owners. They kind of feel like an imposter syndrome. And even though they've had awards and certificates and they're phenomenal in their business, I'm like, what's going on? What do you mean? but it's just something you feel. And so maybe you, as you're washing those dishes, you're saying, I'm letting this all go now. I'm letting the idea that I'm not an expert in my field go, or I'm letting the idea that I'm not a good mom. I hear that a lot, and I'm like, you're literally one of the best moms I know. So it's like, as you're washing those dishes, it's twofold, because you're saying thank you for allowing me to prepare all this food that allowed me to wash these dishes. And then the other thing is that you're washing away anything that doesn't feel good in your body. If you're feeling tension in the shoulder, I'm releasing this tension in my shoulder as I wash these dishes. This is how you create sacredness in the practices that you're already doing, okay? Another thing I mentioned is the shower. This is something that, moms, I get it. Sometimes the shower, the 5 minutes we get in the shower, is the only time we have for ourselves. Sometimes we also have a little one inside. Mine's a little bit older now, so she doesn't necessarily come into the shower, but let's be real, she does a lot. She's like, I have to get this, or I have to get that. I'm like, just leave me alone for 5 minutes. So you might have some time alone in the shower. Why don't you light a candle? Okay, while you're in the shower, why don't you dim the lights? Do you have to have the full lights on? Dim the lights, light a candle. Maybe you light an incense. Maybe you have a special like body wash or bath salt or something that you really enjoy that you always kind of forget to use. Okay, I know you, I get it. Take that out. Do what do they call it? Everything shower, you know, like you don't have to do the everything shower every single time, but you could take out the special body scrub that you have or the body oil that you use. And remember that even just 3 minutes of intentional presence can create sacredness. We're not looking to create sacredness through hours and hours and hours of these beautiful ceremony and rituals that I see online. I see them all the time, but they're not realistic for our everyday life. Although I would love that. It's not realistic for me to fill a bathtub with rose petals. By the way, love it. It's great aesthetic. Who has to clean that up? I do. And I get we can make sacredness cleaning, but I just got to relax in the bath. I don't want to clean up a bunch of rose petals, okay? So if that is you also, remember that you can create that sacredness just by creating intentionality in your everyday task and finding magic in the mundane and within motherhood. Okay, so your evening reflection, I kind of gave you what I would do in the morning. We're doing the same morning routine, and then the evening you're kind of just, or the main task for today is just kind of list out those things that you do every day, 5 to 10 minutes, max 10 tasks, and then how can you create more sacredness within them. Okay, so at the end of the day, right, we talked about like yesterday having a journaling question that you might, or a thinking question that you might kind of come across. The question today is, what are 3 mundane or ordinary moments that felt sacred? Okay, so at the end of the day, today, or whenever, ask yourself, what were 3 ordinary, mundane tasks that I did today that felt magical, that felt sacred, that felt like I was really tapped into my my higher self, or I was really tapped into the universe or God, and I was just washing dishes, or I really connected with my ancestors when I was folding laundry today. Whatever it might be, the reason why you want to ask yourself at the end of the day these questions is, one, now you're going to know what to really focus on the next day. So like I said, there's 10 max tasks, but maybe there's 3 of them that you really hone in on and you make sacred every day. And when you ask yourself that question every single night, what are 3 things that I did that felt really sacred, that were just ordinary moments? Maybe it was pushing your child in the swing. It doesn't have to be anything extraordinary, right? This is my whole point of the spiritual reset, is that you realize that you don't have to do these extravagant rituals or ceremonies or plant medicine or anything like that, and to have a really connected and solid foundation in your spiritual practice. In fact, I think that those practices actually have us escaping our reality, and then we have to try to fit back in. And I find that a lot, I don't fit in after these huge, massive ceremonies. I see people all the time of like, I don't fit in, I need more boundaries, no, you don't. You really don't. You just need to find sacredness in the everyday. And I'm not against plant ceremonies or anything like that, but there is a period of integration that I think people take for granted. So I could talk all day long about that, but my biggest thing for you is, how can you find sacredness in the mundane? You have to do it, and then you have to ask yourself at the end of the day, how did I do? So I hope that this day helped you. I hope that you feel like at the end of today, you have found sacredness throughout your day. You have found magical moments throughout your day, and you realize that it doesn't take as much time or capacity or energy to feel deeply connected to yourself and deeply connected to your higher power or to your higher self, to God, the universe. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take anything other than being consistent in your ability to be present in the everyday task. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you have any questions you want to share in here, please do. Like I said yesterday, there's a lot of beautiful practitioners, including myself, healers, educators, teachers. There's a lot of us in here, okay? And I'm sure that anybody that can and will, they will help you. So, and of course, I'm here to answer any questions. I will see you all tomorrow, same time. Thursday will be a different time. I believe Thursday, I will come in probably like 8:30 on Thursday, just because I have a client at 9. I have one today also. This is why this is set up. So, yes. Anyways, all of this will live in a online portal on my website once we are done. So you'll have all access to these videos and to some other resources. So you don't have to worry about, I think now in Facebook groups, I think all of the live videos actually get taken down after 30 days. I just found that out yesterday. So I'm glad I had it already planned that these are going somewhere else. But just so you know, I'm not taking them down. I think Facebook is now. So I didn't want that. You guys just have 30 days with this. I want you guys to be able to come back to this whenever you want. So they'll be living in an online portal on my website. And you'll get all of that information on Friday. So then you'll just have to like log in and whatever, all the things. Anyways, have an amazing Tuesday.